Welcome back to the Customer Success Festival APAC Reloaded. I hope you enjoyed the event so far. Again, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all speakers, attendees, and partners. If you do like our content, please head over to customersuccesscollective.com and check out our membership plan. With the CSC membership, you'll be able to have full access to on-demand videos, templates, framework, exclusive articles, and also rewatch all the presentation videos of this event. Now it's time, sit back and enjoy the next session. Hello everyone, good morning or maybe good afternoon if you're in Australia. It is my honor to present you the next speaker, Hani, the Customer Success Lead, ANZ from ABBY, and he will share his experience and knowledge on customer success user journey. How are you doing, sir, today?
I'm fine, thank you very much, Ryan, and thank you for the opportunity to let me join in this event.
No worries. We all look forward to your session. And for all this audience, please feel free to post your comments, your feedbacks, and your questions here for Hani. There will be a live Q&A afterwards. Now, the stage is all yours. Please take it from here.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Ryan. Okay, so customer success journey. And hey, my name is Hani Gaith. I'm the customer success lead for Australia and New Zealand and ABBY. Topics we're going to be covering today. We're going to go through what is the customer success journey, why is it important, what are the impacting factors of a customer success journey, what are the different stages that are possible in the journey, the touch points and the moments that a customer goes through or can go through, and the different metrics and KPIs that I usually look at or work with in different stages. So with this in mind, we'll start by a quick introduction on who I am and ABBY. A bit about me is I've worked in a couple of regions, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Asia Pacific and Australia. Currently living in beautiful Melbourne, Australia, with my family. I've worked in about seven industries, across different roles, starting from technical, project management, product management, and product marketing, and then finally, for the past few years, customer success. The industries I've worked with is telecom, media tech, ad tech, prop tech, digital transformation, where I'm currently working specifically in process and content intelligence. Now, the reason I've also had the opportunity to work across these industries is I've worked across multiple organization sizes. So I've worked with big organizations and also had the pleasure of working with a lot of startups and in a lot of startups at different stages. Now, if that doesn't tell you a lot about me, I also have 3 beautiful children, 2 teenagers with all the challenges that come with teenagers, and an 8-year-old who is the main reason why I have all that white hair on my beard. Quick story about Ryan, my 8-year-old. Sorry, Ryan, it's the same name as yours, but Ryan, it's very related to what we're talking about, the customer success journey.
It's my pleasure.
No worries. I was actually telling my family about the event and what I'm going to be talking about and explaining what is the journey. And Ryan says, "Hey, Dad, I have a success goal and a journey planned." And I ask him, "Perfect. What's your goal?" And he tells me, "Well, I'm going to be buying all the Pokemon cards in Australia." And I asked him, "Very good. How do you plan to do that?" And he said, "Okay, this is my journey plan. I'm going to start by finding an empty island, and I'm going to go into that island, and I'm going to establish a government. and here's my flag, by the way. And when I have the government, I'm able to print money. So I'm going to rent a money printer. I'm going to start printing money, pay for the money printer, and print enough money to buy all the Pokemon cards I need in Australia. Interesting plan. And I can feel the hair growing whiter in my beard. But I couldn't challenge the logic. He knew his goal, his success goal. He knew his journey, his metrics. So I just told him, hey, if I'm not arrested due to some of the steps you mentioned, I'll be glad to be your customer success manager in this. So as an icebreaker out of the way, I hope you're still awake for the rest of the presentation, and we can move on from here. Abby, this is where I'm currently at. And Abby, what we do is we drive transformation with digital intelligence. How do we do that? We have two main categories of products. We have process intelligence products, where we delve deeper into process mining, process discovery, process analytics, real-time monitoring, understanding what are the actions and tasks that you take place inside systems and outside systems in your workflow. We try to help you with your predictive analytics, what to do next, what will happen next, alerts to take care of, and bottom line, we try to give you that visibility and action on how to improve your process. The other category of products we work with is content intelligence. And that's where we have our very special patented advanced OCR. We have the intelligence document processing platforms, all based on a lot of very intelligent people, much more intelligent than I am, with a lot of math, wicked math skills on artificial intelligence, machine learning, natural language processing, classifying, and understanding what's written in the images or the content and the documents that's being in, extracting it, validating it, comparing it, passing it on to other systems, a lot of great things. Now, a bit about Abby in 30 seconds. We were founded in 1989, offices in 11 countries, and we are 1,200 plus people strong across the globe, with the APJ growing, and this is the region I'm working on, and with the APJ growing aggressively in the next period. And by the way, we're hiring in customer success. I will talk more about that at the very end. We are a market leader. A lot of people say that. So we have 400 plus patents and patent applications. We build our own technology. We have software as a service, cloud services, and on-premise. We partner with a lot of different industries. We work with a lot of different industries, and we deliver what I believe is great success to our partners and our customers. That's Abby, and we will be moving next into my thinking process of the customer journey. Now, this is a high-level thinking process that I'm going to be walking through. And my target is not to tell you what I'm doing inside of Abby or inside any specific company or what you should be doing, but rather what I'm trying to do is see if we can get you to think together of the right questions you should be asking across the customer journey, relevant to you, relevant to your company, relevant to your product, relevant to your region. And from there, hopefully, you can start, build, and grow that customer journey. What is a customer journey? What is a customer success journey? A very nice definition that I really like by Wayne McClough, the author of the 7 Pillars of Customer Success. And his definition of it is the customer journey is the full set of experiences the customer will have when interacting with your company or brand. And that pretty much summarizes it. Why is it important? It's because you want to make sure you give that customer the experience that it's our job as customer success, give them that experience that they need to go through to achieve their success. And it's not about you, it's about their success. It's not your journey, it's their journey. And that is a key element of the customer success journey. What are the factors impacting customer success journey? Now, the core, the beginning and the end is your customer. And I'm sure I don't need to say that, but I will still say it, and I keep on saying it and repeating it. It's understanding your customer. It's what their needs are. It's listening to your customer. It's building that relationship. It's making them trust you. It starts and it ends with your customer. Anything else around that is a build on that base or around that core. Now, what are the other elements that you might be thinking about while thinking of your customer success journey around your customer? Well, are you a B2C company, a B2B, or a B2B2C? Now, each one of these mandates a different type of transaction and a different type of journey. And it mandates also the layers that you're dealing with inside or with your customers, stakeholders, end users. So understanding this helps you begin asking these right questions around, okay, so how does my journey start? How does it evolve? And how does it end? Or sorry, how does this customer's journey start, evolve, and end? What company stage are you working in? So is this a startup? Is it just pretty much getting out of the MVP and moving into real customers? And therefore, you have to think about specific stages, specific customer, focus on onboarding. Is it an established company, an established organization? How big is it? How many people are working with you? So that company stage and size is another big element that you need to think about a lot. Nature of your product. Is your product a system critical or a product that's business critical for that customer? Would they be willing to engage a lot with you on it or not? Will your engagement throughout their journey be too much noise, too little because it's more important than what you're doing, or just enough? It's just the right amount of engagement throughout that journey. What stage is your product in? And that's another important thing with the company stage, because in our case, for example, in Abby, we have multiple products. Some of them are long-established products, some of them are new products, and because of this, each product each customer in these products will have their own journey. Even it might be the same customer with two of these different products, different journeys. Your segments. And this is where, for example, I manage APJ from a customer success perspective and strategic customers. And we have our colleagues looking at, again, depending on how you segment traditional or more modern segmenting, you've got your mid-touch, low-touch, tech-touch, high-touch customers. So in my case, we deal currently with high-touch. But we have colleagues working with us in different regions and in our region for the other segments. Again, is your product SaaS or is it on-premise? Big differences on both, and some of them are related to how much you can really help. SaaS, you might be able to provide more. On-premise, because of security, because of less control, you might be able to do less. These are the different things you need to think about starting to plan this journey and starting to ask the right questions of where I am and where do I want to get to. Journey stages. And again, depending on the factors that we just mentioned, you will have different stages. And it's not really set in stone. So you might be able to start with 1 or 2 stages, grow as your company grows, as your product grows, as your team grows, and build other stages, change your stages. And it really depends on your industry, your product, your company, and all the elements we just mentioned. These are just a list of stages that I've been through in several industries, or I've seen in several industries. And it will come down to you on saying, okay, which one is relevant to me? Which ones are relevant to me? Where do I start with them? Now, again, some companies, for example, don't have a trial stage. Onboarding is probably something everyone has. Adoption is quite important. Probably everyone will have that. But if you're a startup, for example, you wouldn't have reached a retention stage yet, so not necessary. Upsell, growth, loyalty, advocacy, all important depending on where you are, where your customer is on your journey with them. Now, using these stages, one of the key things, or one of the key sayings that really resonated with me is from Scott Hudgens, CCO of Walt Disney World Resort, and what he said was, no one really owns the customer, but someone always owns the moment that the customer is going through. And I believe this is a very valid statement, and I've seen in different organizations and in different companies, there's this discussion of, hey, there's account owners, there are people who are helping them, and that is true. There are account managers, there are customer success sometimes feel like, hey, we own the customer once they're on board. We need to make sure we control that. Again, not necessarily true. Depending on the stage, the touch point, and the moment that the customer is currently going through, someone who might not be account management, account owners, or customer success has to own that moment, has to own that experience that the customer is going through right now. And it could be anyone in the company. And that's why customer success is a company-wide way of thinking. It's not just us as teams working customer success together. With that in mind, we start putting the journey map of what are the different teams who are engaged in the customer journey and the different stages, and who are the owners of the different moments, and who are the stakeholders, internal stakeholders of these different moments. And again, the bigger the company, the more teams you'll have. The bigger the company, maybe the more stages you have, or less if you become more mature. This will depend on all the factors we've mentioned at the beginning. You ask yourself the right questions, and you start building this and putting it in place. Touch points and moments. Now, the way this is defined is, once I start thinking of the stakeholders and the journey map, and we've got the stages established, we then see how am I going to be talking to this customer and with what. And you've got 2 categories here. You've got the proactive touch points and moments that the customer go through, and you've got the reactive touch points and customers. The proactive usually includes the one-to-many outreach, and the one-to-one touch points. The reactive usually includes the opportunity flags or triggers, and you've got the risk triggers. Depending on each, you build your playbooks, and accordingly you start learning from these playbooks, and they would be more of guidelines, because eventually the customer success manager who understands their customer would choose and really decide what is relevant and what is not. But once they have that guideline, it helps you as a team at least scale and work across different regions, different products, and be able to establish this thinking across the rest of the team. The other thing you will need to establish and work closely internally with your other colleagues and team members is, what are the touch points or the moments that needs to be within the product that also impact customer success, and which ones are outside of the product, and using the different channels, emails, calls, QBRs, EBRs, all of the relevant ways we usually do and go through. And finally, how do we measure it? What are our metrics? How do we know what we're doing is working or not? And there are three categories that I usually put the metrics in, or I've seen different people who are even wiser and more experienced than me do the metrics in. You've got the customer metrics, product metrics, and internal metrics. And within the customer metrics, one of the key ones is your net recurring revenue. And that's important to really know at the end of the day if what you're doing is working from a revenue point of view or not. And when you put a metric, you also sort of have to decide what stages are these metrics relevant in. A lot of metrics will be across all stages, but some of them will be specific to certain stages. But as long as that's understood while you're asking yourself and planning, that'll help you a lot. There's a net churn rate, and these are sample metrics. There are much more, and again, sometimes you don't even have to start with all of these. Most of the time, actually, you don't have to start with all of these. Choose the relevant ones, start with them, and go from there as you mature and as you build. You've got the lifetime value of the customer, net promoter score. You've got time to live in the product, time to go live in your product metrics, which is very relevant to onboarding. Your monthly active users, is the product actually being used or not? What are the key features being used? And these are not just success metrics, but they're also product metrics on understanding how the product should grow. The utilization of licenses, utilization of features, utilization of product, again, depends on your industry, your product, and your company and your customers. Internal metrics, your renewal rate, your upsell revenue, your average time to value, or the customer's average time to value. How long does it take for that customer to realize the value of working with you and your product from the moment they start using it? These are our key metrics for you. And finally, the customer advocacy rate. How many of your customers, or at least the ones you reach out to become advocates, would actually accept and say, hey, I would go out there and I would speak out for your product. And I would say, hey, this company, Abby, has great products. Abby has great people. And I would keep on working with them in this or other opportunities as we grow. Now, this is my thinking process. Disclaimer, I'm not saying it's the right thinking process. It's just mine. You have your own. If you like some things here, please feel free to use them. If you believe some of them don't make sense, please ignore. And a couple of points I'd like to end this with. One is a recommended reading, The 7 Pillars of Customer Success. I think it's a very good book. I personally enjoyed reading it a lot, and I recommend it heavily to a lot of people I work with, or I know in our customer success community. It has been recommended to me again by people who are more experienced and wiser than me. It's relevant to if you're starting in the customer success career, very good book to start with. If you're starting as a manager and building a team or growing and scaling in your customer success career, again, very good book. And if you're just interested in customer success, an amazing book. With that in mind, again, last thing is we are hiring. We are growing in APJ, and we're currently hiring customer success managers in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and Singapore. Positives is that you'll be working with great products, amazing cutting-edge products, great customers in a growing company, in a growing region, and with amazing colleagues. Drawbacks, you'll be working with me. I apologize for that with all my pros and cons. With that said, thank you very much. And if there are any questions, please feel free to open up the floor for them.
Yeah, thanks, Hani, for the presentation. I'm pretty sure working with you will be a delightful experience. And yeah, if you're in the region, reach out to Hani and see if he got a spot for you. As mentioned, the stage is open up now for the live questions, live Q&A part. So if you do have any questions, please put it up here in the public chat and Hani can get back to you. We got one question already. So do you have any tips on how best to align multi-channel like Tickets, Zoom, or live chat customer journey?
Can you tell me more about what you mean align them, Tanya?
Yep, Tanya.
Make sure I answer the right question. I mean, I give you my thoughts on the right question here. What do you mean by aligning these channels?
Yep, please, Tanya, share a bit more context on this one. Thank you, Chip. It's delightful working with Hannah. Oh, I think he or she is on your team.
Thank you, Chip. Chip is actually my vice president in the US. So thank you, Chip, for attending, and thank you for your comment. Okay, so Tanya, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer from my understanding of your question, and please feel free to correct me if I misunderstood. So tips on how to best, sorry, I meant sometimes the conversation
got lost in different channels.
Yeah. So look, there are different tools that definitely can be used to consolidate your multi-channel, and there are different customer success management tools specifically for us as an industry and as teams that integrate with all your channels, pull them in. They also help you a lot with your health scores. And if you use them right, you're also getting a lot of help in identifying different triggers and flags from customers. For example, there are too many tickets, too many negative comments on social media. If you're integrated to Zoom, you're able to put your action points in there and trigger a playbook out of it. And there are multiple good platforms for that without mentioning names. So you can definitely look into them and see which one fits you best. But use them. They are good. They help you do that, and they help you also automate and align a lot of this.
Thank you, Annie. I hope that answers your questions, Tanya. For the rest of you, I see many of you in the chat already. Again, if you have any questions for Annie, please feel free to post it here in the chat. I see some earlier comments, some great story. I think that was about the Pokemon story that you put up very early with your kid. Yeah, that's just some awesome story because I don't have a kid. I couldn't even picture that. So, but it sounds pretty interesting.
No worries.
Yeah. Is there any other questions from the audience? Oh, thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
If not, probably I'm gonna wrap tips up now. Or do you have some last tips or comments that you wanna share with the community here today?
Yep, all good on my side. Like I mentioned, the main purpose was to trigger more and more questions while you're thinking and planning for your customer journey. And definitely the book is, yes, Avni, I agree. The book is a great read and highly recommended for customer success managers in the region and outside of the region.
Yep. Thanks, Annie. Thanks all the comments, Avni. Sasha, good to see you again. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Hallie, from South Dakota.
Thanks, Hallie.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sasha.
It's good to see many of you here. I look forward to meeting all of you in the next session. Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Pooja, again. Cheers. Thanks, Rebecca, Princess, Loyola, and Sermin. Thanks for tuning in.